Hello everybody, welcome. Today I'd like to answer a question I get quite a bit, and that is, what exactly is work camping anyway? Okay, work camping is how I got started on the road as a full-time RVer. I would not have been able to do this without work camping. There are a couple different ways that work camping can be described, but the most common that I've seen, and the one that I use the most, is this. A seasonal job where you do duties in exchange for an RV site and possibly an hourly wage on top of that. Most of the time work camping jobs are not very high paying. A lot of them are very entry level. They don't require any special skills or schooling, which is great because that means that anybody can do them. It's like me, when I was getting ready to hit the road, remember I said in my intro that I had no special skills that I could really teach, and I had no online job. Well, work camping gave me the opportunity to do something that I already had experience doing, which was retail in this case, and getting paid for it. There are a few different categories that work camping jobs fall into, but a lot of them revolve around the tourism industry. So like in the summer, a lot of tourist locations need more help than they can find in the local workplace. Like there aren't enough people that live around there to fill all of the jobs, the seasonal jobs that they have. So then they'll look out for RVers, people who travel, and entice them in by saying, hey, yes, you can come park here at my campground, or I'll cover a portion of your wages, or, and this is the best, I'll give you an RV site with all utilities for free, and on top of that you get a wage if you come here and you work for me. The tourism type jobs, they tend to fall into either like retail or restaurant work, or being a tour guide, housekeeping, that sort of thing. In my personal case, I had experience doing retail when I was going to college to be a vet tech. So I had a pretty good grasp on retail type work. I even had some experience with it. So when I started looking at work camping jobs, I saw that there were a lot of gift shops and stuff out there, like in national parks, for instance, that hired RVers to come in and work. And I'm like, heck yeah, get to live in a national park for a summer and get paid for it? Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I actually ended up working at 3 different national parks. I did Badlands National Park my first summer on the road, Zion National Park my second summer on the road, and then Yellowstone National Park my third summer on the road. But work camping jobs can fall into a couple other categories too. A big one that you'll hear about quite a bit is Amazon.com's Camper Force program, and I've done that 5 years now. And what that is Amazon.com hires RVers to come in during their busy season, which happens to start usually in September or October sometime, until just a few days before Christmas. And this works out really well for work campers because you can work a summer job like at a national park, and then when that finishes up, go on to Amazon from there. So if you really need to make money on the road and you don't have a job that's travel friendly, you can work camp all year round and you can make a living wage from it. You just have to be frugal and pay attention to what benefits in the cost of the job that you're staying at. And when I say cost, I'm not just talking about the hourly wage, because sometimes a job will have a high hourly wage and seem like it's a really good deal. But then if you look at the cost of living, the RV site might cost a lot, and maybe the laundry costs a lot, and groceries cost a lot in the area, and it really doesn't end up being such a great deal. So when you're looking for these kind of jobs, you want to take that into consideration, how much it costs to get there and to live there, as well as how much you're actually getting paid and what the benefits of the job are. And there are a couple other things you want to keep in mind, like if you have pets, some of them are more pet friendly than others. If your rig is not self-contained, of course you'll want to make sure that you find ones that have like shower houses and stuff nearby that you can use, preferably for free. The hardest time to find these jobs is the winter season, because there's not as much tourist stuff that happens during the winter. I mean, after the Christmas rush is over, there's kind of a lull between January and April or May when the summer jobs start. So what do you do during that time of year? Well, I actually looked for temporary work that wasn't specifically for RVers. Because just because you're in an RV doesn't necessarily mean you have to take just an RV job. So where I actually ended up going my first year on the road was a Lowe's home improvement store, because they like hiring people early spring, because that's when a lot of homeowners start thinking about home improvement projects. So that kind of covered the gap pretty well for me. Home Depot and other places like that would work too. And I also know RVers that do other kind of temporary work that's not specifically for RVers but works out pretty well. For instance, like construction and that sort of thing. Now, the biggest category of work camping jobs that you'll hear about are camp hosting. Most of those are geared more towards like older retired people who don't really need to be making more money. They just want a free place to camp. So how a lot of those jobs work is you get your RV site for free, and you don't work as many hours per week. So instead of working 40 hours a week like you'll probably work at a national park summer job or at Amazon, it's more like 20 hours per week and you get your site for free, but you don't get any wages on top of that. So that's another thing you'll have to be careful of when you're looking for these jobs, is if you really need to make money from it, make sure that the job pays a good enough wage. And now you're probably wondering, where do I find these work camping jobs? And the answer is the internet. So in the video description for this video, I'm going to link to a couple of different places that I've used to find work camping jobs. And there are other ways to define work camping jobs too. Some people consider any job that you do from the road to be a work camping job. So like remote jobs where you stay in your RV and your employer's elsewhere could be considered a work camping job. But the ones that I'm referring to here are where you have a physical employer that hires people to come in seasonally to work for them. I hope that clears up some of the confusion. If you want to learn more about work camping jobs, you can visit my website, interstellarorchard.com, where I've written a lot of articles on the topic over the years. Thank you so much for watching, and safe travels and happy trails.